Now to an ABC6 News update out of Smithfield, North Smithfield. The high school football program there suspended indefinitely after school officials learned of hazing allegations involving members of the team.
New tonight, we're hearing from the other school that's part of that co-op team. ABC6 News reporter Hector Molina has more.
Well, to give you an idea of just how serious this investigation is, the Rhode Island Attorney General's Office, DCYF, the North Smithfield School Superintendent's Office, and North Smithfield Police are all involved. Now, details as to what exactly happened remain limited at this time, but one thing's for sure, you won't see any players on the field behind me anytime soon. On June 20th, the North Smithfield Superintendent's Office learned of hazing that took place amongst players on the high school's football team. In a letter to parents, North Smithfield Superintendent Michael St. Jean said the incident took place during this past school year. Allegations described as serious, with an investigation that now involves agencies ranging from the Attorney General's Office to DCYF. The Northman football team are a co-op with Mount St. Charles Academy. New tonight, the Academy's president tells us in a statement that none of their students are involved in the investigation, nor were they present at the time of the incident. Current and former North Smithfield parents and students were shocked to hear the news. ABC6 spoke with Jonathan Glode, whose family played for North Smithfield.
I was on the football team, and my cousin, he played football for the team that just won the championship a few years ago.
Glode says his family never experienced any hazing and that it has no place in any level of sports.
And to hear that there's a hazing incident, it's not good, because there's a lot of anti-bullying going around and anti-hazing, and to hear that there's a hazing incident going on, it's not welcome in school sports. Everyone should get along and be respectful of everyone.
North Smithfield Police confirmed they're involved in the investigation earlier today, but offered no further details.
Just wondering what kind of hazing they put the kid through. I wouldn't want that to be my child.
And the school superintendent tells us that the findings of the investigation will be made public once it's completed. In North Smithfield, Hector Molina, ABC6 News.
New tonight, the Department of Health confirming to ABC6 News that a veterinarian licensed in Rhode Island is now being investigated after allegations of animal abuse. Officials confirming that Dr. Janine Oliver filed for a license in Rhode Island in November, right before surrendering her license in North Carolina. It was in North Carolina where a petition circulated online calling for her removal because of alleged maltreatment of animals in her care. The Department of Health tells ABC6 they are aware of the concerns and they are investigating.
Massachusetts State Police seizing hundreds of illegal fireworks over the weekend. In each of these cases, they say police tell us that the person brought in the fireworks to Massachusetts from out of state. The illegal fireworks, not cheap, totaling more than $28,000. 18 summons were issued to appear in court. Those folks will now face charges of illegal possession of fireworks.
Let's get a check of our forecast and bring in Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Denoyer. This is summer in southern New England.
Yeah, and I think you might have had one of the better days you're going to have the entire summer, because you have the combination of low humidity and sunshine and the temperatures in the 70s. Let's take you to Cumberland, 295, exit 20, Route 122, which is, of course, is Mendon Ave. Some really good food joints right off that exit right there. I'm just telling you, not that I would know or anything, but nonetheless, great day to be in Cumberland, great day to be in Woonsocket, great day to be at the beaches, great day to be anywhere in Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. Temperatures in the 70s, though notice at the beach, though, winds have turned just a little bit southwesterly, so you have closer to 80 when you're north of the bay, and then you go into the bay and south, and it's just a little bit more refreshing. 73 in Newport or 72 in Westerly, or a little bit cooler, whichever way you want to look at it. But nonetheless, it's nice north, south, east, west. Clear and comfortable tonight. We'll take you back into the 50s for areas in Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. It's one of those nights you can turn the AC off and open up the windows and let it rip. Why not? Because the AC is going to have to come on again by the end of the week. So enjoy it while it lasts. 80s tomorrow, a little bit cooler at the Rhode Island beaches, but nice. We'll see if there's more beach days in the forecast for the end of the week and holiday weekend coming up in just a moment. John.
That's a good tease. Thank you, Jeff. We'll see you in just a bit. In local political news tonight, Governor Mckee launching an electric vehicle rebate program in Rhode Island. It's simply called Drive EV. It encourages Rhode Islanders to switch to an electric vehicle by offering up to $2,500 in rebates for anyone who buys or leases an electric vehicle.
The rebates will help reduce the cost of electric vehicles for consumers, and with additional incentives available for those with lower incomes. making EV ownership more affordable to a greater number of Rhode Islanders.
Well, the program was first announced back in mid-March when gas prices were just starting to take off. The state's $13.6 billion budget, which the governor signed yesterday, includes $23 million to increase the number of electric vehicle charging stations in Rhode Island. Well, Senator Reid is now heading to Europe later on this week to discuss the Russian invasion of Ukraine. As chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, he'll be meeting with top leaders from NATO, as well as high-ranking U.S. military officials. The president is in Europe this week as well for the G7 summit.
Back now to the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, the ruling now having an impact on local fertility clinics. Employees at Boston IVF say they've been taking dozens of phone calls from women out of state who are worried the abortion bans will interfere with their attempts to have a baby. That's because some procedures involved with in vitro fertilization may be interpreted as abortion under the strictest bans.
These laws are going to impact the health of women, those women for whom it is risky to be pregnancy.
Some women also fear the laws might prevent them from discarding frozen embryos they no longer need. For that reason, some are already planning to ship those embryos to Massachusetts.
Now to our focus on our schools. The Providence Charter Review Commission will hear proposals tonight that would dramatically change how the school board is put together. As it stands right now, school board members are chosen by the mayor. This new proposal would shake that up. ABC 6 News reporter Yanni Tregellis picks up the story from there.
Right now, board members are nominated by the mayor, and the new plan elects 10 school board members picked by taxpayers from 5 regions in the city. The Providence Charter Review Commission will hear a proposal Tuesday to implement a regional school board elected by taxpayers within the city limits, aimed to strengthen education in Providence by giving parents the chance to decide who represents them.
Have the opportunity to have their voices heard.
The proposal is expected to include several recommendations, including splitting the city up into 5 regions, with voters within each of the regions electing 2 school board members to represent them, totaling 10 seats.
There's nothing as important as a child's education, and parents deserve to have input on how that information and education is going to be delivered.
Providence City Council President John Igliozzi, who is also chair of the Charter Review Committee, which will hear the proposals, calling this a way to hold schools more accountable. Right now, school committee members have no voting powers since the state's takeover of Providence schools in 2019.
That accountability will happen, and then people will be more accountable to get the system moving forward. I mean, let's quite frankly, the school system is in serious trouble, and we need to do everything we can to support the state to get it to turn around.
The recommendations come after Providence gathered feedback from the public and elected officials on how they want education to be improved. And if the proposal for an elected school board moves forward Tuesday, City Council will then vote on whether to put the question on the ballot before voters make the final decision.
Everybody, every neighborhood has a seat at the table. And this way it helps with that conversation, helps with the planning, and has more voices and involvement of our school system.
If this passes, Igliozzi says we could see the first elections for school boards in Providence by the next election cycle. In the newsroom, Yanni Tregellis, ABC 6 News.
Well, Boston Public Schools avoiding a state takeover, at least for now. City leaders and state education officials reaching a last-minute agreement last night that would allow the public school system to continue operating independently. As part of this agreement, the troubled district must improve services for English learners and increase classroom safety, among other things. The State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education released a report back in May citing, quote, significant, persistent challenges in Boston schools. Still ahead tonight on ABC 6 News at 6, big changes coming to Route 146 tonight. What you need to know if you're going that way this evening.
Plus, after taking over parts of Rhode Island for filming, the first trailer is released for the almost 30-year-in-the-making Hocus Pocus 2. And
just as we get spectacular summer weather, the Department of Health forced to close 3 beaches in Rhode Island. Those details for you on the way. You're watching ABC 6, Southern New England's trusted news source.
Hi, we're Dry Zone Basement Systems, the all things basement-y company. Since 1987, over 85,000 homeowners have trusted basement systems to fix their basements. Basement waterproofing, foundation wall repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. Call Dry Zone Basement Systems today for all things basement-y.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping. For a husband.
everybody's inside. We finally get to go outside.
No surprise, there isn't any traffic out there today. Remember to stay safe.
Did you see that?
See what?
Look, another one!
Watch out!
Just like Bigfoot sightings, accidents can happen at any time.
So if you've been injured in an accident, call 1-800-SPARKS-LAW.
Bam!
Thinking twice about that summer road trip due to high gas prices? Well, with an electrified Toyota, you can pack your bags today. Right now, you can get savings on amazingly fuel-efficient Toyotas at the Toyota Summer Sales Event. Save fuel with an electrified Camry LE Hybrid with 52 mpg and up to a 686-mile driving range. Plus, get 1.75% financing on most Camry models. So, take that summer road trip. But first, see your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
Tuesday's estimated Mega Millions jackpot is $328 million. Make sure to add Megaplier to increase your non-jackpot prizes up to $5 million. Please play responsibly.
Wake up and plan your summer days with forecasts on the 6th. Your local weather updated every 10 minutes. Weekdays from 5 to 9 a.m. Tips on how to protect you and the kids from too much sun. An hour-by-hour forecast. And up-to-the-minute traffic reports for the quickest routes to the beach. Forecast on the 6th. Updates all morning, starting at 5 a.m.
Hey, Massachusetts, there is an election coming up. And this year, your ballot box can be as close as your own mailbox. Because in addition to voting in person on Election Day and early voting, Massachusetts is now offering every voter the option to vote by mail. But you or a family member must request a mail ballot. Massachusetts state primaries are on September 6th, and independents can choose to vote in either primary. Apply now at our website.
In entertainment news tonight, Disney has dropped the teaser trailer for Hocus Pocus 2. The original 1993 movie is about 3 witch sisters woken up from a 300-year sleep in Salem, Mass, by the lighting of a black flame candle. The sequel was partly filmed here in Rhode Island, with crews seen filming in Providence, Lincoln, and in Newport. Hocus Pocus 2 starts streaming on Disney Plus September 30th.
We want to let you know about some traffic changes coming to Route 146 tonight that you'll want to avoid if you can. According to the DOT, it's changing the traffic pattern on Breakneck Hill and Twin River roads in Lincoln so they can begin replacing the highway overpasses on those roads. Well, that work begins tonight at 10 o'clock, and then we'll run right through tomorrow morning at 7. And then the same thing again for Wednesday night, again starting at 10, going to 7 in the morning. Traffic on Twin River Road will be reduced to 1 lane in both directions, and the lanes on Breakneck Hill Road will be narrowed.
The Rhode Island Department of Health now recommending closing both Connecticut and Oakland Beach in Warwick and Barrington Town Beach for swimming. They're making this recommendation because of high bacteria levels found in the water. RIDO will continue to monitor the beach water. The most up-to-date info on beach access across Rhode Island available on RIDO's website.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Denoyer.
High levels of bacteria caused by the rainfall that we had yesterday. Not much rain in the forecast the rest of the week. Maybe the bacteria levels will go down and be able to reopen for the weekend. Big holiday weekend coming up. You want to be open, right? So let's talk about the tropics for just a moment. This little L right here, potential tropical cyclone 2. And it's going to continue to work west and likely become a named system. This is Venezuela. This is Caracas here. There are tropical storm warnings and watches here. And I actually have some local Venezuelans who are here. And they have family in Caracas, so they know that there's going to be a potential tropical system. This is a very odd place for a tropical system to develop in June. It will eventually head over to Nicaragua and bring tropical storm force winds likely. And I talk about this because it's a reminder to let you know it is hurricane season. We've already had Alex named. I checked that one off. We got Bonnie coming next if that gets named. And there are other 2 locations in the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico that the National Hurricane Center is tracking, and the potential for a few more named systems maybe within the next week. So something to keep in mind, it is hurricane season. We had a tropical air mass in place yesterday, but certainly nothing in the way of tropical situations, storms, or any kind of hurricanes nearby. Has some decent rain, though. Temperatures in the 70s today, and nothing tropical about the air mass anymore. The dew points, they just kept tumbling all night long. If you were outside like 3 o'clock in the morning, like yours truly, you were like, oh, it's like free air conditioning outside. It was that nice. Dew points just kept on dropping all the way into the 50s. And it was still really sticky most of the night. But boy, once you got past about 2, 3 in the morning, it was like you hit the switch. It was just nice. Tonight's nice too, clear. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s by 3 a.m. We'll tumble back in the 50s. Rebound tomorrow to the 80s for most locations. Unless your plans take you to the Rhode Island beaches and you're making a beach day, it'll be in the upper 70s and still very delightful. Southeastern Mass sunshine looking good for you. Let's take you to the 80s as well. It's a good decade. You can play a little Devo while you're at the beach, you're at the pool. And overall looking pretty good. Now, can we keep it going for the weekend? You bump the temperatures up Thursday and Friday, and it gets more humid. And you start the weekend humid as well. I think Saturday has potential, not just day but night too, to be the wettest of the entire weekend with some showers and thunderstorms. Some of that rain can be heavy at times. There's still some showers on Sunday, but mainly in the morning. I think by the afternoon, it dries out. Question is, how much sun can we get? But most of the day looks to be dry. We'll keep an eye on that. That's a big part of the forecast because I always say this, and I would love all 3 days to be perfect and ideal for you to be outside. But if we can get 2 out of 3, it's not bad. And Monday right now looks like the best day of the actual July 4th holiday itself. So here's the rain. This is fast forward to Saturday. Rainfall in the morning, frontal boundary sagging south. You start to expand that area of rain in the afternoon. And I still think there'll be some rain in the evening too. That could make it an issue for some of the fireworks shows across the area. The front will then clear the coast. And though lingering very, very close, I've kept most of the rain out for Sunday. However the weekend works out, Monday, July 4th is gorgeous, low 80s. And then partly sunny skies on Tuesday, temperatures in the low 80s for the early part of next week. And looking pretty good if we could just dodge those raindrops for the holiday weekend. Nick.
That would be nice, Jeff. Thank you. A former Brown Bear signs a contract extension with his local pro team. We'll tell you about that next. And speaking of local, Providence native David Duke Jr. has a clearer picture of what the Nets are planning for him in the near future. We'll tell you about that and more coming up next in sports.
Bet your life.
Get out of here.
No, you get out of here.
Love is now electric. Introducing the all-new 2023 Subaru Solterra, the first ever all-electric SUV from Subaru. With symmetrical all-wheel drive, 8.3 inches of ground clearance, and 0 emissions, you can explore the great outdoors while protecting them. The all-new Subaru Solterra, starting at $44,995.
Visit Riverhead Building Supply in Taunton, Mass. and in Middletown, North Kingstown, Richmond, and Westerly, Rhode Island. Riverhead Building Supply, your local lumber and hardware store.
The world is full of make or break moments, especially if you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and a high risk for fracture. It's time to make your move to help reduce your risk of fracture with Prolia. Only Prolia is proven to help strengthen and protect bones from fracture with 1 shot every 6 months.
Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Xgeva. Serious allergic reactions like low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat tightness, face, lip, or tongue swelling, rash, itching, or hives have happened. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen, or new or unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred. Speak to your doctor before stopping, skipping, or delaying Prolia, as spine and other bone fractures have occurred. Prolia can cause serious side effects like low blood calcium, serious infections, which could need hospitalization, skin problems, and severe bone, joint, or muscle pain.
Don't wait for a break. Call your doctor now and ask how Prolia can help you.
My name's Kyle Sievert, and I sell houses for hardworking people because that's who I am and that's who I care about.
G.W. Wagner is a veteran-owned and rapidly growing operation designed to fit all plumbing and HVAC needs with multiple teams throughout Rhode Island and Southern Mass. G.W. Wagner, we stop leaks every day of the week, as well as offer a 10% discount to veterans and their families.
I'm John Calcagni, a former federal prosecutor and head of New England's premier fully staffed criminal defense firm. If you or a loved one has been accused of a crime, call me.
ABC 6 News anchor Tiffany Murphy, I know how hectic life can be, so give us 11 minutes at 11 o'clock and we'll give you tonight's breaking headlines, updates on today's top stories. Join me for 11 at 11, only on ABC 6.
Now, ABC 6 Sports.
As good as the month of June has been for the Red Sox, it wasn't the most encouraging thing to see them go up to Toronto against a good team in their own division and lay an egg Monday. That's why they play series, right? An opportunity tonight for the Sox to show up this time and give the Blue Jays a good game and bounce back. Just past 7 o'clock, Michael Wacha pitches for Boston Tuesday. It was a tough spot for the Sox on Monday with young Connor Siebold getting the call up from AAA and trying to work his way through a talented Toronto lineup. But Alex Cora and the Sox know every night in the AL East is going to be a battle this year.
Everything in this division can pitch. Everything in this division, they can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and it's going to be a grind. We're going to be banging heads for the rest of the season, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We had expectations coming into the season to make the playoffs, and we will keep working for that.
While the Sox and Jays fight in the wild card race, the Yankees keep sitting pretty, way ahead in the division and continuing to find ways to win. The Pinstripes were down 5-1 to the A's last night before a 6-run seventh helped them rally past Oakland. Josh Donaldson had the big hit that put them ahead. Doesn't matter where you look in the Yankees lineup, they are tough to get out.
It's a dangerous offense, and just a great job by JD. Thought he had a really good at bat. A good one coming off obviously a high energy, intense series. Come out here and get a little rain early. I thought our energy was good, and obviously a great finish.
Yankees and A's played just past 7 o'clock tonight as well. The way the season played out this past winter with some injuries, some COVID-19 complications, local guy David Duke Jr. got a shot to play in the NBA, and plenty of a shot, too. When he was on the floor for the Nets, he flashed what we all saw at PC and Classical growing up. It's why Brooklyn is reportedly looking to keep him around. A report by Chris Milholland of SB Nation saying the Nets want to retain Duke Jr., who is a restricted free agent. Brooklyn has reportedly tendered him a qualifying offer as a two-way player for $1.5 million. Duke Jr. is also set to play for the Nets' Summer League team, and the report says he'll play a prominent role with the opportunity to compete for a roster spot next season. That is good news. Staying in the NBA, a Celtics assistant is reportedly set to become the new head coach of the Utah Jazz. Will Hardy, according to multiple reports, will be the new leader in Utah. Johnston's Joe Mazzulla was also reportedly part of the pool of candidates, but it is the other assistant, Hardy, who's getting the gig. And as we get closer to the start of free agency and the frenzy that usually comes along with it in the NBA, Russell Westbrook making it a little less dramatic. The guard is reportedly exercising his $47.1 million option for next season and will return to play for the Lakers. Shifting to football, and the Patriots, who are off for the summer, as we know, but when they come back, it seems like everybody in the offense has a lot of confidence in the second-year quarterback. Tight end Jonnu Smith was on the NFL Network's Good Morning Football this week, and has good things to say about Mac Jones as he goes into year 2 in the NFL.
Honestly, man, just the way he can turn it on. Mac is probably one of the most goofiest guys in the locker room, to be honest, man. But when we step on that field, he's just a different character. Because there's so much dog in him. He's poised. He's got a little swagger to him, man. I'm glad he's throwing us passes.
When it's business time for Mac. Speaking of Foxborough teams, the Revolution taking care of some business Tuesday, signing midfielder Tommy McNamara to a 2-year contract extension. Keeps the veteran with the Revs through the 2025 season with a club option through 25. The former Brown Bear is in his 3rd year with New England and has played in all but 3 matches since joining the team as a free agent in 2020. Congratulations to RIIL State Golf Champion Max Jackson, who yesterday in Connecticut qualified for the U.S. Junior Amateur. Jackson made a back 9 charge in the qualifying round Monday with 4 birdies, and now the reigning Rhode Island Junior Amateur champ will head to Bandon Dunes Golf Resort in Oregon late next month to compete on the big stage. And finally, some of the best stuff that comes from when the Stanley Cup is won is the content, right? Where it goes, how it's used. How adorable is this? Gabriel Landeskog's daughter using the trophy as a sippy cup. Of all the uses we've seen, I've seen bowl of cereal, you name it, a lot of other beverages in there. This has got to be the cutest. From the captain of the Colorado Avalanche and his family. Isn't that adorable?
That is the ultimate sippy cup right there, my friend. Wow, what a great idea.
And she was not shy about it. She's like, come on, bring it over. Like,
Daddy says I can, I will.
Right, and she'll look back at that in, 20 years and be like, wow, the Stanley Cup.
Also, Nick, you mentioned something I think is so important. All these Patriots players, unprovoked, really saying all these glowing things about Mac Jones. That's not the Patriots way unless it's true.
You're right, and you hear it from all of these guys on offense that he's going to be throwing to, that he's working with, John. And so to hear that from Mac, and especially at such a crucial time. The second year is when we see the leap from some of these guys in the league because they've been around the league, they know what it's like. And for Mac, if you're hearing those things, that's a good sign heading into training camp next month.
It really is. Gets me fired up for the end of July.
Me too.
All right. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks,
and thank you for watching ABC 6 News at 6. We're done here. David Muir is up next. See you back here tonight at 11.
Watch Doreen and Casey weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on ABC6.
Guys, are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, today, Tuesday, we're doing something unprecedented. Our technology is clinically shown to open up and regrow blood vessels. We're finally able to get the blood flowing where you want it, when you want it. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us right now. You'll qualify for the assessment, the exam, even the blood flow ultrasound at no charge. And today only, patients qualify for 3 tune-up treatments at no charge. This is worth hundreds of dollars, and it's free to callers today, Tuesday. Men, let's get your love life back on track and get rid of those pills.
Put a stop to your ED. Call today, Tuesday, June 28th, and you'll qualify for the exam, assessment, ultrasound, and special gift free, plus 3 tune-up treatments at no charge. This is an $800 value free to callers today only. Call Green Valley Medical Clinic at 401-414-9999. This offer ends today.
At Belize Chevrolet of Warwick, we always have new vehicles arriving daily. Reserve your new Chevy at BelizeAuto.com.
Rooftop Power has helped thousands of families across Rhode Island and Massachusetts save on their electric bill. Call now. With $0 down, no money out of pocket, you can save too.
Howdy, I'm Matthew the Twig Largest, voice of the forest. I'm an ISA certified arborist of New England and president of Largest Forestry Incorporated.
I'm Ash, the office manager here at Largest Forestry Inc.
We are fully licensed and insured.
We offer a wide variety of quality residential and commercial tree services, ranging from fine tree pruning, plant health care, and stump grinding to emergency and hazardous tree removal.
Forest blessings!
Trees are cool and so are you!
Visit Stone Ridge Grill and Bar located in Plainville, Mass. Enjoy American cuisine, brews, cocktails, and wine, along with live entertainment weekly. Stone Ridge Grill and Bar in Plainville, Mass.
The 201 horsepower turbocharged Kia Forte GT. Finally, a reason to wear those aviator sunglasses you've had in the glove compartment all this time. Get 2.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2022 Forte.
Tuesday's estimated Mega Millions jackpot is $328 million. Make sure to add Megaplier to increase your non-jackpot prizes up to $5 million. Please play responsibly.
Rhode Island and I are a lot alike. We're small, sometimes we're underestimated, but we're full of hope and determination. I'm Nellie Gorbea. I don't come from a well-connected family. I took out loans, worked my way through college. For the past 30 years, I've been working to make people's lives better. Now, I'm running for governor so that everyday Rhode Islanders have a chance to thrive. As governor, I'll raise taxes on big corporations so we can fix this housing crisis, expand pre-K to every child, and reward small businesses that create jobs here.
Tonight, the revealing testimony before the American people, a former White House aide inside the West Wing, describing former President Trump the morning of January 6th, saying he wanted security to allow armed protesters into his speech. And she testified that she was told the former president later in the presidential SUV lunged at a Secret Service agent when the president was told they could not take him to the Capitol. Cassidy Hutchinson, a top aide to former President Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, whose own desk was just down the hall from the Oval Office, testifying about the crucial days just before January 6th and then about the day itself. There for the president's speech at the Ellipse that morning, she said she heard the president say, "Let the protesters who are armed in. Get rid of the magnetometers." The president saying, "They're not here to hurt me." She testified after his speech, the president back in the presidential SUV, that he wanted them to take him to the Capitol. And what happened next? She testified the former president, she was told, reached for the wheel. Tonight here, our team asking the Secret Service for reaction at what we're learning already. Also, that White House aide testifying her own boss, former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, and Rudy Giuliani, both asked for pardons after January 6th. And tonight, how the former president is now responding. Jonathan Karl and Pierre Thomas standing by. Also tonight, the death toll rising in Texas. Authorities now believe the deadliest human smuggling operation in U.S. history. At least 51 people now dead in San Antonio. Tonight, what we're learning about what was discovered inside that truck. Tonight, the abortion battle now on the state level. Some states with trigger laws looking to ban abortion immediately, halted by the courts, at least for now. The Amtrak derailment in Missouri, the train from Los Angeles to Chicago, and tonight the death toll growing, and what we've now learned about that scene. The war in Ukraine, President Zelensky sharing new images tonight showing the moment Russian missiles hit that shopping mall. The images of people nearby in fear, one person grabbing a child to hide. At least 20 people killed, rescuers searching for possible survivors. James Longman is there. Ghislaine Maxwell sentenced for child sex trafficking related to Jeffrey Epstein. What the judge decided today. Tonight, hear the pandemic, and late today, the FDA advisors voting in favor of updated boosters this fall that would target the Omicron variant. And America Strong tonight, the high school graduates and the emergency call just moments after getting their diplomas.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night. And we begin with the dramatic testimony at the 6th public hearing of the January 6th investigation, scheduled just 24 hours ago to present what the committee called recently obtained evidence and a key witness, Cassidy Hutchinson, the top aide to former President Trump's White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows. Hutchinson testifying today that White House officials were aware there was a risk of violence on January 6th, that former President Trump was aware that some in the crowd for a speech the morning of January 6th were armed, that he wanted security to let them in to get rid of the magnetometers. The president then urging the crowd to go to the Capitol. And she testified the former president wanted to go to the Capitol too, and what she says she was told, how he reacted when the Secret Service told him they were taking him back to the White House instead, telling him it wasn't safe. She says she was told he lunged at the Secret Service agent. Cassidy Hutchinson, 26 years old, she sat just down the hall from the Oval Office. A loyal Trump aide, she testified about when she became concerned, scared about what could happen on January 6th. The disturbing incidents she says she witnessed. 4 days before January 6th, she said she escorted Rudy Giuliani out of the White House and that he asked her if she was excited about January 6th, saying the president would be going to the Capitol. When she asked her own boss, former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, about that, she testified he said there's a lot going on and things might get real bad on January 6th. Then on the morning of January 6th, she testified reports started coming in of armed people at and near the rally. The committee revealing law enforcement reporting seeing pistols, rifles, even AR-15s. Then Hutchinson testifying the former president was irate that the area wasn't full, saying he didn't care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Let them in. Hutchinson testifying that the lead Secret Service agent, Robert Engel, and Deputy Chief of Staff Tony Ornato replayed what happened inside that motorcade when the president wanted to go to the Capitol after his speech. When he was told they were taking him back to the White House, how he reacted. ABC's chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off tonight.
Her name is Cassidy Hutchinson. She just turned 26, and today she told the American people what she witnessed from her vantage point just steps away from the Oval Office as the top aide to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. She testified that on January 2nd, as she escorted Rudy Giuliani from a White House meeting, he told her Donald Trump was planning to go to the Capitol himself on January 6th.
He looked at me and said something to the effect of, "Cass, are you excited for the 6th? It's going to be a great day." I remember looking at him and saying, "Rudy, could you explain what's happening on the 6th?" He had responded something to the effect of, "We're going to the Capitol. It's going to be great. The president's going to be there. He's going to look powerful. He's going to be with the members. He's going to be with the senators. Talk to the chief about it. Talk to the chief about it. He knows about it."
And did you go back then up to the West Wing and tell Mr. Meadows about your conversation with Mr. Giuliani?
I did. He didn't look up from his phone and said something to the effect of, "There's a lot going on, Cass, but I don't know. Things might get real bad on January 6th. That evening was the first moment that I remember feeling scared.
Then, the morning of January 6th, Hutchinson testified Meadows was told there were weapons in the crowd.
Where I remember Tony mentioning knives, guns in the form of pistols and rifles, bear spray, body armor, spears, and flagpoles. Spears were one item, flagpoles were one item, and then Tony had relayed to me something to the effect of, "And these effing people are fastening spears onto the ends of flagpoles.
The committee played police radio traffic from that morning, backing up the reports of armed protesters.
I got 3 men walking down the street in fatigue while carrying AR-15.
As Trump got to the Ellipse for his rally outside the White House, he was angry that more of the crowd wasn't allowed inside the secure area around the stage. Some apparently stayed outside the security perimeter because they didn't want to give up their weapons.
He wanted it full, and he was angry that we weren't letting people through the mags with weapons. I overheard the president say something to the effect of, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Let the people in. Take the effing mags away.
Hutchinson testified that White House counsel Pat Cipollone was adamant that Trump not go to the Capitol.
Mr. Cipollone said something to the effect of, please make sure we don't go up to the Capitol, Cassidy. Keep in touch with me. We're going to get charged with every crime imaginable if we make that movement happen.
Thank you very much.
But Hutchinson said Trump was not willing to take no for an answer, and after his speech was over, he ordered the presidential vehicle to take him to Capitol Hill. But lead Secret Service agent Robert Engel refused. Hutchinson testified she saw him and Deputy Chief of Staff Tony Ornato just after they returned to the White House with an angry President Trump.
I noticed Bobby Engel, who is the head of Mr. Trump's security detail, sitting in a chair, just looking somewhat discombobulated and a little lost.
Hutchinson said that she was told that when the president got into the car, he believed he was heading to the Capitol.
So once the president had gotten into the vehicle with Bobby, he thought that they were going up to the Capitol, and when Bobby had relayed to him, we don't have the assets to do it, it's not secure, we're going back to the West Wing. The president had a very angry response to that. Tony described him as being irate. The president said something to the effect of, I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now. To which Bobby responded, sir, we have to go back to the West Wing. The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol. Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. And when Mr. Ornato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
It wasn't the first time Trump had exploded in rage. Hutchinson described seeing what happened a month earlier after Attorney General Bill Barr declared that there was no significant fraud in the election.
Ms. Hutchinson, how did the president react to hearing that news?
I first noticed there was ketchup dripping down the wall, and there's a shattered porcelain plate on the floor. The valet had articulated that the president was extremely angry at the Attorney General's AP interview and had thrown his lunch against the wall.
And Ms. Hutchinson, was this the only instance that you are aware of where the president threw dishes?
It's not. There were several times throughout my tenure with the Chief of Staff that I was aware of him either throwing dishes or flipping the tablecloth to let all the contents of the table go onto the floor and likely break or go everywhere.
And on January 6th, even after he returned to the White House, Trump still wanted to join the march to the Capitol.
He said he wanted to physically walk with the marchers. He wanted to be a part of the march in some fashion.
But he did not go, and his supporters soon breached the Capitol building. Hutchinson said Chief of Staff Meadows initially did nothing.
I said, watching the TV, Chief? He was like, yeah. The rioters are getting really close. Have you talked to the president? He said, no, he wants to be alone right now.
Then the White House counsel came rushing in.
And I remember Pat saying to him something to the effect of, the rioters have gotten to the Capitol, Mark. We need to go down and see the president now. And Mark looked up at him and said, he doesn't want to do anything, Pat.
Trump was even unmoved by his supporters chanting, "Hang Mike Pence."
I remember Pat saying something to the effect of, Mark, we need to do something more. They're literally calling for the vice president to be effing hung. And Mark had responded something to the effect of, You heard him, Pat. He thinks Mike deserves it. He doesn't think they're doing anything wrong. To which Pat said something, this is effing crazy.
The committee pointed out it's almost exactly what Trump told me 6 weeks after he left the White House.
Because it's common sense, John. It's common sense that you're supposed to protect. How can you, if you know a vote is fraudulent, right? Yeah. How can you pass on a fraudulent vote to Congress?
At the end of the hearing today, Cassidy Hutchinson was asked about her own boss, Mark Meadows, and about Rudy Giuliani, who had told her January 6th would be a great day. She said both wanted presidential pardons.
Ms. Hutchinson, did White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows ever indicate that he was interested in receiving a presidential pardon related to January 6th?
Mr. Meadows did seek that pardon. Yes, ma'am.
And John Carl was on the air with me all afternoon, back with us tonight. And John, former President Trump responding to today's testimony saying, quote, he hardly knows who Cassidy Hutchinson is. But John, the committee did show the American people the West Wing, her desk just down the hall from the Oval Office, right outside Mark Meadows' office, often right by Meadows' side.
Just steps away from the president, David. But the former president issued a flurry of statements while the hearing was still underway, attacking Cassidy Hutchinson, denying what she said. Two things are clear. One, Donald Trump was watching this hearing. And the second thing is that Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony clearly struck a nerve with him.
And John, we're also hearing tonight from the former chief of staff before Mark Meadows, Mick Mulvaney, who tweeted that he knows Cassidy Hutchinson and that he believes her.
He said that, and Mulvaney said that the testimony was explosive, and he predicted that others close to Trump, as a result of this testimony, would be testifying themselves soon.
John Carl leading us off here tonight. John, thank you. And one more question on this. So let's bring in our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, because this was a significant piece of testimony, Pierre. Cassidy Hutchinson saying she was told that the former president lunged at that Secret Service agent in the presidential SUV. Curious what the Secret Service is saying about all this tonight.
David, the Secret Service so far is not commenting on specifics, but just informed me that they would like to respond under oath. Two sources familiar with the investigation confirmed that President Trump had requested to go to the Capitol on January 6th and that the Secret Service refused due to security concerns. One of those sources telling me that the president did return to the vehicle after his speech on the morning of January 6th and asked Agent Robert Engel if he could go to the Capitol. Engel said something to the effect of that being unwise or dangerous and that the motorcade was going to take the president back to the White House. A source close to the Secret Service just told me to expect that the Secret Service will push back against any allegation of an assault against an agent or President Trump reaching for the steering wheel, David.
Very
just
interesting. So that exchange that was described today, the Secret Service wants to answer that under oath. So we'll wait for that development coming. Pierre Thomas with late reporting. Our thanks to you and to John Carl tonight. Thank you both. In the meantime, we move on now to the other major headlines this Tuesday night and what authorities now believe is the deadliest human smuggling operation in U.S. history. The death toll growing, and it is staggering tonight. At least 51 people now dead in San Antonio. Tonight, what we're learning here about what was discovered inside that truck, a worker making the gruesome discovery. The horrific scene on a remote Texas road, a tractor trailer packed with dozens of migrants, most of them dying in triple-digit heat. And first responders saying the survivors were close to death themselves. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gupman in San Antonio tonight.
Tonight, first responders describing a tractor trailer filled with death.
The floor of the trailer was covered with dead bodies.
That tractor trailer carrying migrants abandoned on this rural road in southwest San Antonio Monday evening. The driver had fled.
It was a horrific scene, something I'll never forget.
Some of the victims had made it out of the truck only to collapse on the road. First responders checking the bodies one by one.
We put a monitor on every single one of those people to make sure that there were no signs of life. And
just to be 100%
Just to be 100% sure.
Tonight, there are 13 survivors. How close to death were these living patients?
Very close. They were extremely critical.
Now facing organ failure from severe heat stroke and exhaustion. Temperatures as high as 103 degrees in San Antonio Monday, the city on track to have its warmest June on record.
Those people suffered, that the heat was torrential. There was no air in that vehicle. There was no water. The AC was not running.
A federal official telling ABC News this is the deadliest case of human smuggling in U.S. history.
Today,
We mourn for those 51 immigrants.
Tonight, police telling ABC the truck's driver and 2 others are in custody. Homeland Security now leading the investigation as authorities work to identify the victims. And among the dead, men and women from Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras.
David, I just spoke with lead investigator in the case who says that with this unprecedented wave of migration across the southwest border, smugglers are packing more and more people into those vehicles, and that journey north is becoming increasingly deadly. David.
Matt Gupman in San Antonio. Just an awful scene, Matt. Thank you. Next tonight here, the death toll also rising after that collision between an Amtrak train and a dump truck in rural Missouri. A 3rd passenger now dying. The truck driver also killed after that train from Los Angeles to Chicago. After the collision, 16 members of a Boy Scout troop sprang into action, helping people evacuate the wreckage. That crossing did not have any lights or control devices. A local farmer posting this video just 2 weeks ago, saying he'd been warning about it for years. Tonight, the NTSB now revealing it would have cost $400,000 to add crossing arms, lights, and bells to transform it from a passive to an active crossing. There are going to be more questions to come on this for sure. In the meantime, the abortion battle now on the state level after the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. We have reported here on the 13 states with trigger laws looking to ban abortion immediately. Well, tonight, in some of those states, those trigger laws halted by the courts for now. ABC's Rachel Scott traveling the country again tonight.
Tonight, facing growing pressure, President Biden's health secretary insisted the administration is looking at every option to protect abortion rights.
There is no magic bullet, but if there is something we can do, we will find it and we will do it.
Secretary Javier Becerra outlining steps like increasing access to medication abortion, but offering few specifics. Our Mary Bruce pressing for details.
When can we expect more concrete steps to be announced? What's the holdup here?
It was a long decision, and it did upend 50 years of precedent. And so you want to make sure that what you do is within, as I said, the confines of the law. We're not interested in going rogue.
The battle over abortion rights now turns to the states. At least 13 have stopped nearly all abortions. About a dozen others set to take action in the coming weeks and months. Abortion rights demonstrators marching from Illinois to Iowa.
We have to protect our siblings who this does affect in other states.
Illinois now a safe haven, surrounded by states banning or severely restricting access to abortion, bracing for up to 30,000 more women to travel here over the year.
Patients who are struggling to make ends meet, who are deciding, do I pay my rent or do I feed my kids? And now they have this not only added expense and time of needing an abortion, but also the time they have to take off work and the childcare and the lodging. It's really heartbreaking.
The legal challenges continue tonight. Abortion bans in Louisiana and Utah have been put on hold for now, David.
Rachel Scott in Illinois for us. Rachel, thank you. Overseas tonight into the war in Ukraine, at least 20 people are dead, 40 more missing after that Russian missile strike on a shopping mall that's far from the front lines. President Zelensky tonight sharing this video the moment the missile hit the mall, a car factory behind it also destroyed. And new images of the debris falling on a nearby park, the impact knocking people down, some jumping into the water, families scrambling to get to safety when those missiles hit. When we come back, Ghislaine Maxwell sentenced for child sex trafficking connected to the Jeffrey Epstein case, what the judge decided today. And news on the pandemic tonight involving boosters this fall, what FDA advisors voted in favor of. That was late today. In a moment.
I'm still drawn to what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to AFib not caused by a heart valve problem. So if there's a better treatment than warfarin, that's a trail I want to take. Eliquis. Eliquis reduces stroke risk better than warfarin and has less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis has both.
Don't stop taking Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
The #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner. Ask your doctor about Eliquis.
Men put their skin through a lot, day in, day out. That's why Dove Men Body Wash has skin-strengthening nutrients and moisturizers that help rebuild your skin. Dove Men Plus Care. Smoother, healthier skin with every shower.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
One Prilosec OTC in the morning blocks excess acid production for a full 24 hours, unlike Pepcid, which stops working after 9. 24-hour protection. Prilosec OTC. One pill, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
Tonight, Ghislaine Maxwell has now been sentenced to 20 years in prison after her conviction for grooming underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein. Without taking responsibility, she told the court today she empathized with the victims and called meeting Epstein the greatest regret of her life. Her lawyer says she will appeal. When we come back, news on a key booster this fall.
Oh, what a good time we will have. Once again, good days will come. Oh, to the question where you can make it happen.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Hon, you've got to see this. The WeatherTech's here.
Wow, that was fast.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser-measured floor liners, no-drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone. WeatherTech.
At Dog Chow, we believe helping dogs live their best life should be simple. That's why Dog Chow is made with real chicken and no fillers. Purina Dog Chow. Keep life simple.
If you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, you're a target for chronic kidney disease. You can already have it and not know it. If you have chronic kidney disease, your kidney health could depend on what you do today. Farxiga is a pill that works in the kidneys to help slow the progression of chronic kidney disease. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in women and men, and low blood sugar. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may lead to death. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis. And don't take it if you are on dialysis. Take aim at chronic kidney disease by talking to your doctor and asking about Farxiga. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Hey, did I tell you I bought our car from Carvana?
Yeah, Ma.
It was so easy. I found the perfect car. Under budget, too. And I get 7 days to love it or my money back. I love it!
We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
Tonight, FDA advisors have voted in favor of updating the COVID boosters to target the Omicron variant in this country. The U.S. expected to face a new surge this fall. Those boosters are expected to be ready for this fall as well. When we come back, what happened right after they got their diplomas?
Your mission, stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Rinvoq.
Here's to real flavors, real meals, real good. All of Knorr's high-quality pasta and rice sides are now made with no artificial flavors or preservatives. Knorr, taste for good.
Suction out your tube before you eat. Don't use spray paint.
Be very careful shaving.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Welcome to Allstate, where the safer you drive, the more you save. Like Rachel here.
How am I looking?
Looking good. The most cautious driver we got.
Am I there?
No, keep going.
How's that?
I'll say when.
Now? Is that good?
Lots of cars have backup cameras now, you know.
Those are for amateurs.
There we go. Like a glove, girl. Safe driving and DriveWise can save you 40% with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
My A1C stayed here. It needed to be here.
Ruby's A1C is down with Rybelsus.
My A1C wasn't at goal. Now I'm down with Rybelsus.
Mom's A1C is down with Rybelsus.
A1C down with Rybelsus. In a clinical study, once daily Rybelsus significantly lowered A1C better than a leading branded pill. Rybelsus isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't take Rybelsus if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Rybelsus and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Rybelsus with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Need to get your A1C down?
A1C down. Ask your healthcare provider about Rybelsus today.
Every killer just might think they're pulling off the perfect crime until, well, it's not. Because what's often hiding in plain sight between four walls is the fatal flaw. The new true crime series premieres Thursday night, July 7 on ABC.
Finally, the high school graduates, America's Song. These graduates in Port Jefferson, New York, are volunteer firefighters. Moments after their diplomas, the call, racing to the firehouse, the gowns on the floor, rushing to the fire, putting it out. No one was injured. Tonight, sending us this photo. It's now prom night. They say they're still ready for any call. Good night.
I know how hectic life can be, so give us 11 minutes at 11 o'clock, and we'll give you 11 minutes of non-stop commercial-free news and weather.
Guys, are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, today, Tuesday, we're doing something unprecedented. Our technology is clinically shown to open up and regrow blood vessels. We're finally able to get the blood flowing where you want it, when you want it. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us right now. You'll qualify for the assessment, the exam, even the blood flow ultrasound at no charge. And today only, patients qualify for 3 tune-up treatments at no charge. This is worth hundreds of dollars, and it's free to callers today, Tuesday. Men, let's get your love life back on track and get rid of those pills.
Put a stop to your ED. Call today, Tuesday, June 28th, and you'll qualify for the exam, assessment, ultrasound, and special gift free, plus 3 tune-up treatments at no charge. This is an $800 value free to callers today only. Call Green Valley Medical Clinic at 401-414-9999.